We already prayed, and we're going to start the lesson. Today's lesson is going to be over respect for the Greyheads. It's not a football team. The Greyheads, it'd probably be a bad football team, too, you know. They just won't let it go, Brother King, you know what I'm saying? I can still do it.
Yeah.
You know, some older brothers and sisters, you know, they just don't want to give it up, you know.
Yeah.
You know. All right, but that's lesson going to be over, the respect for elderly brothers and sisters in the scriptures, and how we should behave in their presence with them as well. So we're going to start in Leviticus 19:32.
What's the day today?
6/25/2019. So again, the lesson is going to be over the respect for the gray head, which are elderly people. However you want to put it. So we're going to start in Leviticus 19, verse 32. This is one of the laws as Moses was giving out the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible. Moses was telling us how we should conduct ourselves from our marital laws, for our laws with dealing with each other, brothers and sisters, animal laws, etc., etc. And one of them encompassed how to deal with the elderly, the older. 32. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy Yah. I am Yah. So Yah right here is commanding respect given into the older brothers and sisters that are in our midst. You know, when you see a brother or a sister come in, to rise up before and give honor, due respects. So this is a commandment. And we know that Yah is notorious for, is known for his white hair. You know what I'm saying? Just like, Yahushua Mashiach really not 33. I don't know, nobody knew that he older than 33. You know what I'm saying? So that's when John seen him, they say that, he had white hair. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't just cuz, you know what I'm saying? Right. He had a white fro, you know what I'm saying? So, so the Most High is very particular about giving honor to the age, you know what I'm saying? That's just like him, you know what I'm saying? Giving honor unto him. Now we're going to go to Genesis 31, 34 to 35. Chapter 31, verse 34 to 35. And this reinforcing the rising up before the elders. This is Genesis 31. 31, 34 to 35. Now this is with Rachel and Jacob when they were leaving Laban. So it goes, verse 34. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. They took a image, some type of idol image, I believe it was, and she was hiding it. But 35 it reads, so she's sitting on this thing and she's hiding from him. Mm-hmm. And she said to her father, let it not displease my Lord. And that's not talking about her Lord, is just another term of her master, right. Somebody over you. That's all that was. Let it not displease my Lord that I cannot raise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched but found not the images. Meaning, she was on her monthly cycle and whatnot. But the point here is that she gave the excuse, her valid excuse that was not the truth. But nevertheless, she let him know the reason why I'm not rising before you to give you honor, just like in Leviticus 19:32, is because for such and such reasons. Like if somebody got a broken leg or something, a reasonable manner. But this is to reinforce the premise of the word that you're supposed to give honor to the older, to the elderly when they're in your mix. Now we're gonna go to 1 Timothy 5, brother King, writing that down. Next time my children come in, y'all better. I want everybody standing up when I come in. Nah, I'm joking.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm joking. But it's biblical though. It's how you're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 1 to 2. You not worried about it, but y'all worried about it. Put it like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm saying I wasn't worried about what you were saying.
Oh, okay. 1 Timothy chapter 5.
Because I know it was just in fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're joking. 1 Timothy chapter 5, 1 to 2. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger man as brethren, the elder woman as mothers, the younger as sisters with all purity. So obviously the main point here is for the elderly man and the elderly woman, is telling them to treat them as a father. The elderly man, as you would have as much respect as you should have for your father, you should still have the same respect for your elderly brothers, and your elderly mothers. Treat her as your own personal mother. You wouldn't do such and such. You wouldn't curse around your own mother or your father. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't lie to your own mother and father. It's the same approach for your elderly brothers and sisters in your mix as well. So now we're gonna go to Titus chapter 2. This is recording. Yeah, it's recording. Titus chapter 2. 1 to 6. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged man be sober, grieve, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience. And these also is a side note, but these are things that the gray-haired brothers and sisters should be displaying in their age. You know what I'm saying? Because this is why the Most High, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, why the Most High want us to respect the elderly, because they're supposed to be possessing these characteristics in verse 2. You know what I'm saying? Now we know that there's a lot of old foolish people nowadays, man. You know, a lot of old foolish people. Verse 3. The aged woman, then they go with the aged woman, likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yah be not blasphemed. Young man likewise exhort to be sober-minded. And the point here is about, respecting your elders, because they're supposed to be teaching you this, and this is why we're supposed to have respect for our elders, our elder brothers and sisters, because hopefully throughout their life that the Most High has blessed them with this wisdom, and they have submitted themselves to the Most High so they can teach the youth. You know what I'm saying? When you sit by an elderly person, they supposed to be dispensing wisdom to you. So, and this is why we should respect the elders, so we may get some of their wisdom in our youth. So, we can avoid certain things in our youth. Okay, Proverbs 23:22. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 22. Proverbs 23:22. This is Proverbs 23, verse 22. Hearken unto thy father that begat thee, and despise not thy mother when she is old. Right, going right in line with 1 Timothy and Titus 2, talking about giving respect unto thy father. And Timothy 1:5 talks about treating elder brother or elder sister as thy father and as thy mother. So this goes right in line when the elder brother is coming to you and speaking to you, or elder sister is coming to you and speaking to you. Hearken unto thy father that begot thee, and despise not thy mother when she is old. So meaning, just because, say the Most High is dealing with you, or you just, growing up and whatnot, and these are things that, we can teach other brothers and sisters younger, that they feel that they are wise, they don't need no counsel from an older brother or a sister. The scriptures are saying, show respect, hearken unto thy father and thy mother, give them respect, hear them out, you know what I'm saying? So Job 32 verse 1 to 2, and we're going to go to 6 to 10. So chapter 32 verse 1 to 2 and verse 6 to 10. Job chapter 32 verse 1 to 2, verse 6 to 10. And we're going to see how this is playing out a little bit in Job. Because you got four old men talking in Job. It's Job and his two frenemies, should I say, with the way they talking down on him, boy. But there was four of them, and there was a young man there too. This is Job chapter 32, verse 1 to 2. So these three men ceased to answer Job, because he was righteous in his own eyes. Then was kindled the wrath of Elihu, the son of Barachel, Bazite. Nah, this is the son of the first one, Barachel, the Buzrite. That's his nation, the Buzrite. Of the kindred of Ram, against Job was his wrath kindled, because he justified himself rather than Yah. And I just read 3:2. Also against his three friends was his wrath kindled, because they had found no answer, and yet had condemned Job. So this young man is this young man is looking at these four elders speak, and he's upset at Job because Job just justifying himself, and the three people coming against Job, they condemned him with no proof. He did you did it. But check this out in verse 6. And Elihu, the son of Barachel the Buzite, answered and said, this is the even though he's upset and he's seeing the error, he's still showing a massive level of respect. I am young, and ye are very old. Wherefore I was afraid. You see right here, he's giving them exceptional honor, because he knows how the Most High wants the youth to respect the elders, but he wants them to show with great respect. And that's why he was afraid. He said, I was afraid because I don't want to disrespect my elders. I am young and ye are very old. Wherefore I was afraid, and darest not show you mine opinion. He was like, man, I really didn't want to do this, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not that Job and his friends was going to be upset at him. It was more so the Most High. He didn't want no problem from the Most High. I said, days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom. See that right there? And that lines up with 1 Timothy and Titus 2, especially Titus 2. I said, days should speak, meaning a person of older age, and multitude of years, a person of old age, should teach wisdom. Now, what they doing over here, they just, having an old man fight, Ain't nothing worse than two old men fighting. Arguing, barbershop talk, and don't let a fight break out, boy, Go on, man, I done told you.
We can
take it outside right now, But they should teach wisdom and whatnot. Verse 8, but there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. So the Most High, Ruach HaKodesh, his spirit. Great men are not always wise, neither do the aged understand judgment. Therefore I said, hearken to me, I also will show mine opinion. So, what I'm saying? And the point of this is his massive respect here. But obviously, to avoid further issues, Elihu jumped in to, trying to calm the situation down, you know what I'm saying? And he did it in a very respectful way, you know what I'm saying? It was not disrespectful to nobody. Y'all wasn't mad at him. That's the point. Now we're going to go to 2 Kings 19. 2 Kings. Did I write it down? It's 2 Kings. 2 Kings chapter 2, 19 to 24. 25, I mean. 2 Kings chapter 2, 19 to 25. And now we're going to see why Elihu was so, afraid. He was like, man, I dare not open my mouth, and we're going to see how this is played out right here. This is 19 on down, and 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 19 to 25. And the man of the city said unto Elisha, behold, I pray thee, the situation of this city is pleasant, as my Lord seeth, but the water is not, and the ground barren. And he said, bring me a new cruse. That's like a cruise to hold water,
right?
And put salt therein. And they brought it to him, and he went forth unto the spring of the waters, and cast the salt in there, and said, thus saith Yah, I have healed these waters. There shall not be from this any more death or barren land. So we see right here, the Most High this is a prophet of the Most High, and he's still working full-fledged with the Most High, and still got the power full right. Verse 22. So the waters were healed unto this day, according to the saying of Elisha, which he spake. And he went up forth there unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. Now, this is completely different behavior as we see in Job. It's no respect right here. Hey, shalom, brother Ishmael.
Shalom.
How you doing?
How you doing, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Shalom. Good to see you.
We talking about respect for the gray head, the older people.
But
Why he look at you when I said gray head? He's like,
but continue reading that. I want to see when this.
Yeah, brother Petro. I was trying to emphasize on this. We gonna get to the G-Bears, man.
I was about to pluck one of mine out. Right?
Okay, now I keep it, man. We gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we talking about. How the Most High want us to respect the elderly man in the midst of us, and the elderly women in the mix. Right now we're in the 2 Kings chapter 2, and we're gonna read verse 23 again. And he went up from thence. So Elisha just got finished healing the water, and he's going about his business as the prophet of the Most High. Verse 23. It says 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 23. And he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. And we just got finished reading in Job chapter 32 how what's the guy name? Elihu. Not Elihu. In Job. Elihu. He didn't even want to intervene into the conversation between Job and the other. You found it? Here, go to the first. Go to the first of the book, and look for it. No, the first. Where everything is. 2 Kings. Shit's Old Testament.
I figured it would be the New Testament. That's what Kings are, right? Kings are old.
Second. 199. But in the book of Job, Elihu, he didn't want to even intervene into the conversation between Job and the other elder brothers of chapter 2, verse 23. He didn't want to intervene with them, but these children right here, they ain't got no problem being disrespectful to the elderly, and especially even a prophet. Chapter 2, verse 23. And that's because, you know what I'm saying, they probably wasn't raised right too. But look at Elihu, he was very afraid to even intervene in their conversation. And this is why, you know, because he knows, you know, the Most High don't like elderly brothers and sisters disrespected. This is 2 Kings chapter 2:24. And he turned back and looked on them. So Elisha looked at him. So you got to put this in perspective. He looked at him. All right, I got something for y'all. And cursed them in the name of Yah. So he didn't do it by you making Elisha mad. He say, man, in the name of Yah, the master of heaven and earth, I curse you, you children. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and tear 42 children of them. So why did 42 children?
Harsh.
Nah, you don't understand. That's what go back to that purity. The Most High got purity that He wants everything pure. If you go against that purity, He'll kill you. Like, it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. And that's why we did that lesson on pureness, subjecting pureness. I don't know if you was here for that, but you know that's why we can't objectify pureness, because the Most High pureness ain't no joke. He'll kill you. He'll kill your children. He'll kill your wife. He'll kill your husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, He ain't playing. Or He'll curse you too. You know what I'm saying? Verse 25. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria. It don't look like Elisha, he was upset. He went by his business after that happened. It don't sound like he was distraught or anything after that. Because why? They disrespected the elder. Not only, he's even above the elder. He's a prophet elder. You know, he just ain't a normal elder. He's a prophet. That's why the scripture say, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. It's one thing to curse out your own mother and your father who's elderly, but it's a whole different thing to curse out a man of Yah. You know what I'm saying? You playing with fire for real there. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. And that was that. And now we're going to go to Proverbs chapter 20. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 29. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 29. The glory of young man is their strength. And we all been there, you know, when we're about 15, 16, you know, testosterone flowing through your blood, through your body.
19,
you know,
35.
well, it really started hitting around like 15, 16.
Yeah.
You take on the world, you can pick up, you know what I'm saying, 600 pounds, no problem. And that is saying, you know, that youthful health, that's a good thing. A young man, that's what a lot of old men who have not transitioned into their older age, they long for, man, I miss being 19, 20, man, 21. Oh, man, I used to run. Man, I used to do this. I used to do that. And that's a bad thing, you know, because you're supposed to have the transition. You know what I'm saying? I had that part of my life. Now I'm in the elderly, older. I'm supposed to have that aspect now. But the scriptures say the glory of young man is their strength, and the beauty of old man is the gray head. Now, we see nowadays what they got, what is it? The hair coloring thing. Just for man, they want to take away the wisdom. They want you to stay, because why? They want you to continue to stay in this state where they don't want you to see the old age of wisdom or nothing like that. They want you to look down upon it. But that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be looked upon as something bad. Because again, like we were saying earlier before you came, when John seen the vision of Yahushua HaMashiach, he had white hair like wool. You know, he had the gray hair. You know what I'm saying? So if Yahushua HaMashiach is in his beauty and he got gray hair, it should not be looked upon as bad or anything of that nature. So again, the glory of young man is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head. Now we're going to go to Proverbs chapter 16, verse 31. Proverbs 16, verse 31. The hoary head, the gray head, the hoary is another translation for gray. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of the righteous. This is a side note because there's, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of older foolish people who in their youth they look down upon wisdom and living for the Most High through Christ and seeking Him and not being stiff-necked and not getting understanding by their own understanding. So the scripture is saying here, if the gray hair be found in a righteous elderly, that is good. That is the hoary head is a crown of glory for the older, but yet brothers and sisters that have submitted to wisdom and truth. You know what I'm saying? All right. If it be found in the way of righteousness. Okay. Now we're gonna go to Sirach, Ecclesiastes, chapter 25. This is an Apocrypha. Sirach, chapter 25. It's not in there, trust me. It's in the older, like 1611. Sirach, chapter 25, verse 5 to 6. All right, this is Sirach, chapter 25, 5 to 6. Oh, how comely is the wisdom of old men, and comely means beauty, and understanding and counsel to man of honor. And it got exclamation points right here. So this emphasizes, when you put an exclamation point on something, it's like wow factor. You know what I'm saying? She did what? The wow factor. Much experience is the crown of old man, and the fear of Yah is their glory. And how do many become older? Because they're fearing Yah. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't going to do that. I'm not going to rob this bank. I'm not going to go curse out my mother or my father. I'm not going to go do a shootout. I'm not going to go commit adultery. You know what I'm saying? People who live their life, they don't tend to have old hairs in their, you know what I'm saying? You commit adultery, you robbing banks, you know what I'm saying? You usually dead. You know what I'm saying? And it might be a blessing if you going to jail. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? When you're in jail, that means you can't do no more crimes, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but they do crimes. And
that's why I said so. You know what I'm saying, quote unquote. You can't rob no bank in jail. You know what I'm saying. You can't really commit adultery with nobody's wife in jail. You know what I'm saying. You probably call her up. You know what I'm saying. We accept a call from such and such. You know what I'm saying. But at least it's being limited now. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's that. Much experience is the crown of old men, and the fear of Yah is their glory. Okay. Now we see that. Now we're going to see. We went to that judgment, and now we're going to see how the Most High, it hurt the Most High to have to destroy the old man. Because in Zion, when he came to kill everybody, he came to kill the old man too. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't want to, and we're going to see how this is emphasized in the scriptures. We're going to go to Lamentation chapter 5, verse 1 to 2, and 11 to 12. This is Lamentation. It's right in between Jeremiah and Ezekiel. Lamentation.
You said 5, 1 to 2?
Yeah, chapter 5, verse 1 to 2, and verse 11 to 12. In between Jeremiah and Ezekiel. This is Lamentations chapter 5, 1 to 2. Remember, O Yah, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to the strangers, our houses to aliens. Now this is when one of the many times when the Most High cast judgment upon Zion, and at this particular time the Most High let the Gentiles ravage the Hebrew Israelites in Zion, the land. And so that's what's going on here. Now we're going to go to 11 and 12. They ravaged the women in Zion and the maids in the city of Judah. Princes are hanged up by their head, The faces of the elderly were not honored. And you see what's going on here. Even during the siege of everything that's going on here, the prophet right here is pointing out and emphasizing even the elders are not being honored. They're being disrespected, because that's something that's like, wow, y'all disrespecting the elders? Wow, man, we done really fell down now, you know what I'm saying? Because elders were so respected, you know what I'm saying? The Most High set that precedent in Zion to respect the elders. So the Most High didn't want to have to do that, but you know what I'm saying, they was buck wild, you know what I'm saying? So he had to, you know, let the devil release on them. Now we're going to go to Isaiah 47 and verse 6. Isaiah chapter 47 and 6. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 6. I was wroth with my people. This is Yah talking about how he was wroth with his people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Meaning that they showed no honor to the ancient, to the brothers and sisters with gray hairs. And you know, that was a very horrendous thing to do, because you're supposed to have honor and respect for the people of elderly age. You know what I'm saying? That's a big mark on your, that's why the scriptures say, respect your mother and your father, for the days be long. If you don't, your days going to be cut short. Just like what happened with Elisha when he the 42 children, and he had them put to death, because respecting elders is an important thing. So when Yah has brought his inheritance to this state, you know he's very upset, because respecting elders is a top thing for him. And when he letting the other nations ravage Zion, you know he's very upset. But the point is, even in this midst, he's even bringing out, these are one of the horrible things that are happening. You know what I'm saying? It's comparable to women being raped. You know what I'm saying? Like, you disrespecting the old head? Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now we go to Lamentation chapter 4. Go to Lamentation again. 4, verse 11 and verse 16. Lamentations chapter 4. Verse 11 and verse 16. Yah
11
verse
and
11,
16, or
verse
11 through 16.
11 and 16.
Okay.
Yah hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger. And just like Brother Pedro was shocked when them two she-bears came out and killed the 40. He killed everybody? Yes, he's killing everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yah hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger, and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundation thereof. The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world. Verse 16. The anger, I was keeping, Brother King, you know, I will rebuke you if you wasn't there. No, I'm joking. Verse 16. So we understand in verse 11, he's upset. He done poured out his wrath upon Zion. Verse 16. The anger of Yah hath divided them. He will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests. They favored not the elderlies. What was one of Zion's biggest issues? They showed no respect to the gray head. So he did what? He poured out his fury. And we know when y'all get mad, you know what I'm saying, you'll be eating donkey head. You wouldn't hear that, but he put Zion in such a poor state that they had famine in the land, and they was paying like $400 for a donkey head.
A head of a donkey.
And you know, a donkey head, you know, they ain't got a bunch of meat on it, but that's how hungry you are, and that's what,
just
you know,
plain old flesh like pig.
You know what I'm saying? You know. But that's Yah's fury, you know what I'm saying? When he get mad, it's messed up for you. You're in a bad situation. But this is one of the reasons they disrespected the priests, and they would not honor the elderly. You know what I'm saying? Just like it was depicted in 2 Kings when they was disrespecting Elisha. Okay, so not having respect to the elderly is a big sin. It's not a small sin. You know, that's the type of sin that will bring the fury of Yah upon you. Now we're going to go back. I'm gonna go back to Sirach. I think this is gonna be the last one. It's not in there. It's in Apocrypha. Sirach chapter 26, verse 28. Sirach chapter 26, verse 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. So we got to talk about something that just saddens you, and then something that just makes you very angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. Yah prepareth such as one for the sword. But the second one, and man of understanding that are not set by. So just like we was reading in Titus 2, how the aged man is supposed to teach the younger man, but right here, this is exactly what they was doing. The opposite in Lamentations chapter 16, they were not respecting the elder. But the Most High said it's a sad thing to see that an older man is not set by to teach the younger wisdom. He don't like that. You know what I'm saying? You see an old man, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully that old man, you know what I'm saying, is in righteousness. You know, he's trying to, be righteous. You know what I'm saying? Like Brother King, he's trying to be righteous. You know, he's coming on the Shabbat. He's trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. He's just not trying to stay in sin or anything like that. But it would be a sad thing for him to be in the mix of youth, 20, 16, younger than him. It would be a sad thing for Yah to see them just walk past him and not ask for anything or, wisdom or anything, or try to talk to him because he has wisdom to pass over. That's why, the gray heads and stuff like that. On the respect for the gray head, it's a very important thing. It's one of the things that brought the fiery anger of Yah to Zion, because they would not respect the older men and women in their mix. And so, everybody had to be put into hard bondage because of that. So if anybody got any questions, or anything to add, you may.
I'm good with it.
Okay, I believe Brother King enjoyed 2 Kings. When,
I always like that.
He was like, all right, man, get to the she-bears. I'm like, okay, man, we gonna get there. Hold your horses. You know what I'm saying? So, all praises. Sister Sue, you got any thing or anything?
No, think you did good.
Okay, all praises. All right, if there's nothing else, just end on prayer and go from there.
Hallelujah.
All right, Brother King, you want to do the honors?
No, you go.
You sure? Because, first time you was all up in the prayers. I just let you have it.
All right.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All praises. Holy Abba Yah, we come to you at this moment and give thanks to you, Yah, that we was able to come together and learn of you and study your ways, Holy Abba Yah, and to learn how much that you honor the elder amongst us, Yah, and how much respect you have for them, and teach us to have just as much respect for them, so that we won't kindle your fiery anger upon us or in our mix, Yah. So I pray that the lesson went out in your spirit, Yah, through Yahushua Mashiach, and I pray that we continue to learn of you, Yah, and be blessed by you, Yah.